only when somebody speaks to me in the other language. So feel free to switch me back because it's a fully unconscious process I didn't realize. Okay, so this second part we're gonna be interacting more. You received some folders at the beginning when you registered, right? You have them in your hand. So you're gonna find there a flashcard and you're gonna find a worksheet. So we are gonna be using them along the next slides. I strongly suggest that you gather together because we are going to be interacting with our partners. So make sure you have somebody else besides you so you can better work in this part of the seminar. So please hold on. Okay, let's move. The rest of the attendees is here in time. We are going to start talking about vocabulary. Vocabulary learning is our first methodology. Vocabulary learning talks about vocabulary being central in the process of acquiring a language. Why? Because that's like the raw material. We need vocabulary to be able to communicate. We need vocabulary and we need all those concepts to be able to put together communication. And there is something really, really important here, and is that it needs to be a systematic approach. So it's needed that vocabulary is always the first step in the process. Otherwise, our students are not going to have the tools to be able to create or even understand the rest of of what we want to talk. So, vocabulary learning, it's better when it's done through audio, visual. I know I should have it. I'm sorry. Then so it's better when it's learned through audio, visual relation. If I learn vocabulary by correlating how the object or action looks, how it is named, how it looks, I'm gonna be able to create that imprint, that stamp on my head. So we already spoke about memorization, but it is different when I show the objects or the concepts rather than when I just say a word. So, for instance, it is different what I create in the head. If I said yellow, it doesn't actually need an explanation. This is yellow. And then this is blue. And it doesn't actually need an explanation because intuitively we are understanding and we are making our students understand what we are showing. And it's way more effective to your student's brain when you show it this way and name it, because you are creating the context and correlation in their heads rather than when you use your Spanish word to translate it and say it. Because that way they are going to be appealing to memory.
This way, you're gonna be creating that whenever they hear blue, they see this in their heads. So vocabulary, as I said at the beginning, is the raw material to be able to construct language. So it is important that we present the vocabulary items in context that is rich enough so they understand what are we talking about. So it's not, for example, if instead of showing this and saying blue, the first thing I show you is this that has a mix-up of colors, and I said blue, it's not gonna be enough because I'm gonna be confusing them. I need to start with context that are as clear as possible, and then I can be improving, showing, for example, that this is also blue, this is blue, this one around here is also blue. You see, now I can put it in context. But before getting to this context, I needed to start baby steps. So it is important that any time that we present a new concept, we make sure that we do so in the right pathway to not to confuse our own students. So we already said that it's the foundation of the communication, but also is the foundation of the comprehension, because once we have shown a concept, it's not just the flashcard. We need to get close to our students' reality. We need to make them feel what they just learned. So as closer you get, the more they are gonna relate to the vocabulary, and in this case to the concepts. If then you show them that this is also blue, show me what is blue. Yes, so yes, point out blue. Can you show me the blue color? So if you do so, then next time, maybe they didn't pay attention to the whole thing that you showed in front, but they are gonna remember themselves showing their own blue. So in that case, remember to always use vocabulary in different contexts to improve overall understanding, comprehension, and of course, to create that label for the different concepts and items in their life. Now, let's move to, oh my gosh, this is so, okay. Why is it also important? Because the richness of a language also comes with the richness of vocabulary. You know that even in our native language, the amount of vocabulary you have, it's going to determine how sophisticated your language is and your language use is. So we need to pay attention to the amount of vocabulary, because you know that sometimes in basic education, we make the mistake of repeating ourselves year and the next year the same vocabulary and the next year the same vocabulary, and it's like we ended up giving students just a few amount of words, and then we pretend that they leave school speaking fluently and they only have the same 2,000 words. So it is important that we consider the richness of vocabulary as a process that we increasingly improve and add through the time and year after year. So we make sure that they enrich their knowledge and they enrich their capacity to communicate in different contexts. But also, it is important that we use vocabulary as a tool for future understanding. Because yes, we need to teach them in local context, but also when you use vocabulary from different regions, when you present a new city, when you present a new country, when you tell them a story, you are helping them understand that there are other cultures than ours, that they may be different, they may also be kids or teenagers or grown-ups, but they have different customs related to different kind of food, to different ways of transport, to different vocabulary that also determines the way they think and the way they communicate. The second methodology we are going to talk about is topic-based approach. Topic-based approach, I'm going to start by making you imagine a classroom completely engaged. Imagine how amazing it should be that we have all the students interacting, playing, and singing along the same topic towards learning, right? That sounds amazing, but not realistic. So the thing is that most of the time we have attention spans that make us struggle with how do I teach this group, right? So topic-based approach help us to surround the learning environment into just one topic. So it's not the same with this short attention span to have a group that maybe they are talking about what they did along the week, and then I need them to understand that we are talking about topic-based approach, but maybe they are talking about what they are going to do tomorrow, and maybe she has in her head that I don't know if I closed the door properly. So to be able to gather attention and also to be able to help them follow up what you are saying, you can use topic-based approach because basically it says, you know, every time you're gonna teach something, use a unit. Use something that helps contextualize all the unit of learning. So, for example, if we are gonna talk about the animals at the zoo, so take your students in their imagination to the zoo. So no matter if they get distracted for a minute, when they are back, they know they are at the zoo. So it's gonna be easier that when they hear you say lion or roar or something alike, they know you are talking to something related to. So the same happens with any topic you talk about. Even in adults, if you keep them around the same subject, it's easier for them to interact because they may not be proficient in the whole communication that you are trying to get them to, but they may be more likely to give an opinion or to say something if they are contextualized. It's like if we are talking to grown-ups and they know today's topic is climate change, they may not understand all the words for climate change. But as they already know we are talking about it, they're gonna correlate what you said and the vocabulary and the new words, they're gonna correlate them with the context of that, for example, climate change. The idea behind this approach is that from top to bottom, we take the students along all the learning that we need until they get their objective into the same time. So this helps us that, for example, I use, in this case, elementary kids because it's the easier example for the case. If you are talking about student tools, and then you have the dialogues about where to locate student tools in the classroom, and then you have the reading of a girl saying things about her student tools. Then you have the same tools in different contexts, but no matter if one of your students got distracted for a minute, at the end of the day, they are gonna go back to the pathway where you need them. And the third, before we go to put this in practice, is communicative language teaching, also known as CLT. So basically, this methodology says that learning to communicate through interactions in the target language is the appropriate way of learning a language. And the first part of the morning, we already saw why. So in this case, it uses two basic premises. The first one is that language is a tool for communication. And here is a big discussion that I have with many teachers that says, well, but my students know how to read and write. Yes, but are they able to speak? Are they able to watch a movie without subtitles? Then maybe it's not being a tool for communication. Because if it were, they will be able to use it with their full skills. Then the second says that students learn the language using it. It means that if I teach you something, the idea of that piece of learning is that you are able to use it right away and to keep using it. So something that I really encourage educators is give knowledge that you are going to continue using. For example, if I already teach my students to say hello, good morning, blah, 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 then every time you get into the classroom, say hello, good morning, how are you today? And ask them to actually answer to you. Because that's triggering the fact that they have to put it in practice. If they need to go to the bathroom, make them raise their hands and ask you in the target language. So they are using it to communicate. If they need scissors, a pen, a pencil, a piece of paper, help them out, know how to communicate. Because so they are gonna keep using it, and that's gonna become part of their reality. So, CLT is an approach that emphasizes in communication, prioritizing before even the just memorization of grammar. It doesn't mean that grammar is not important. It is. But in this case, it's focused on help them out communicating. Then we will explain the grammar. Know what I mean? Then, now, we are going to put all this in practice. When you are in the classroom, yes, work in pairs, to dialogues. Help them use the communication in classroom, but not only during the play roles, also during the daily communication. Help them say, teacher, yo quiero. Okay, what do you want? So don't let them force you go back to first language. Help them out to get to the place they want to be in the second language you're teaching. So now we are going to role play. So please form groups of 3 participants.
Come on! As if we were all educators here. Okay, so form groups of 3. Let's get hands on. Come on, everybody. We are all gonna do it. So I'm gonna do as you do. So if you don't form the groups, I'm gonna form them for yourself. So come on, gathering groups. Okay. Once in your group, open your activity pack, and inside you're gonna find a flashcard. You're gonna find flashcards like those. Do you have yours? Is somebody missing a flashcard? Yours is missing? Here you are. You all have flashcards? Is anybody missing a flashcard? No? We're good? Awesome. So now, please pay attention. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take 5 minutes each to use one of those 3 methodologies. So you pick and choose. The first one is gonna be able to choose which of the 3 and so on. And you're gonna play as if your partners were your students. You can agree before starting on what's gonna be the age. So decide what's gonna be the age of your students, and you are gonna role play. First, one of you present the vocabulary. How do you present the vocabulary? Using that flashcard in the target language. Then, the second one is gonna use the same flashcard to present a topic using the topic-based approach. And the third of you is gonna present a communicative language teaching approach. Done? So, let's agree, and I'm gonna be going through the groups to see what you're doing. Okay, go ahead, time to start. What's your group? It's okay, or you can split in pairs, however, how is better for you.
My question, you said it
Each of you, so for example.
So, if I teach, for example, with vocabulary, I have to use mine.
Yes.
I don't have to use yours.
No, it's okay, just yours. Yes, it's okay that for the sake of the practice, it's going to be 3 different things we are going to be talking about. But it's okay. It's just for us to be able to not repeat ourselves.
It's okay, raise your hand and we will go through some of them. Come on. What did you have time to do? It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You know, sometimes we don't have enough time, but we do our best to try to practice. So, next, we are gonna have more role plays. So we are gonna have the opportunity to exchange subject, methodology, and even partners. So the best example for communicative language is Berlitz's method.
The Berlitz method was developed over 140 years ago and is still the most effective way to learn a language. The three key elements of the method are immersive. Your instructor teaches and addresses you in your target language only. Language is presented in the context of real-life situations with a focus on vocabulary and conversation. Present, practice, and perform. To help you absorb your new language, every lesson follows a structure. New content is presented by your instructor. You take part in both guided practice and general practice and are then encouraged to perform what you have learned. This three-step approach means that you'll be able to put your new language into practice in the real world straight away. And as well as learning a language, you'll also get a greater level of cultural understanding to effectively use the language and make connections. Goal-oriented. Each lesson is task-based with specific learning goals. This allows you to put your new language to use in actual situations right away.
So now we move to our next methodology, which is integrated skills approach. So remember that we spoke that naturally we develop our language following, let's say, an order. So through listening, then speaking, reading, and writing. And we spoke about the baby example, right? So when we acquire a second language in a natural way, we do so the same way. And that's why it's easier for students that are taught this way to develop the four skills at the right rate. Otherwise, if we just focus on one or two of the skills, we ended up with students that may be able to read a meme, but may not be able to actually have a conversation, for example. So, using this approach, if we help them get the same order while learning, we are going to be helping them out to actually have a realistic communication. When we talk about integrating the skills, it's like having an emulation of the natural process of learning. So of course, we are not, if we are teaching teenagers or adults, we are not going to take them back to baby, right? But what we can do is emulate through little capsules the same process. So if I have them listen to me while they are saying what they need to, and they start correlating, and then they start repeating after me, And then they start, with my help, of course, communicating with each other. Then have them read the word or the sentence in context. Then have them write about the same subject. I'm gonna be rounded up the knowledge. So at the end of the day, they are not only gonna be able to identify vocabulary, but they are also gonna be able to understand it and to produce it. So now, we are gonna role play this one. In this case, for time, for not to waste time, I'm not gonna make you change groups, but what I'm gonna do is, in the same groups that you did before, those that didn't participate actively in the former activities are those that are gonna be leading this one. So what I want you to do is to use this approach to follow all the 4 different skills development through one of your flashcards. Depending on what you got, you can exchange it with one of your partners from the same group, or if none of them you consider that they are appropriate, you can use your worksheet that it has some vocabulary and it also has the reading, writing, and so on. So use them and let's go practice how we use the 4 skills in the same topic to be able to round up that knowledge. Somebody learned something that may be super obvious but they haven't realized before. Whoa, I can't think that your students are so silent. Oh my gosh. Did you learn something from the last 2 activities that you want to share with us?
We shared our different opinions about how to present, for example, in this case, the vocabularies. And I think I learned about my colleagues, yes. And I think that my ideas will be useful for them in the future.
Perfect. And what was the age of your students?
Primary students, maybe
great. Okay, perfect. Thank you. What did you learn from the last activity?
I learned about method to apply in different skills.
Thank you very much. Did you learn something that you want to share with us?
Okay. According with the card, we're showing little children colors. So we made a presentation. We made a presentation showing a circle with colors and making them to make a relationship between the school objects, the things they have in the backpack, so pencils, pen, markers, and saying aloud what colors do you have in the pencil or markers. Drawing with some artistic activity and say what they're drawing or what color they want to paint the drawing. And they recognize what color, and so they say, what you see in the classroom, and you want to draw it. For instance, you say, I want to draw a pencil, a marker, my math class, wherever they see, and put it in the color, and try them to speak in English. So then to be encouraged to participate. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. You see, we all have different experiences and of course from different ages, but what is enriching from this activity is that we get to know how others do, but we also, let's say, gather some ideas to create our own. Because at the end of the day, we all have this magic of customizing what works better for each kind of student. But at the end of the day, the pathway of creating the vocabulary, the listening comprehension, developing the speech, getting to be able to read and write, is the same pathway, just different streets. So I know that when you are an educator and you are asked to be a student, that costs us a little bit. But be open to learn, because it is something that I have always said is that when you teach, you learn twice than what you are actually teaching to your students. Okay, let's move to our next methodology, which is spiral learning. Have you ever heard of spiral learning? No? Okay. So let's go to this new one. Spiral learning is a methodology that I personally love because it helps you to get to really complicated concepts in the easier possible way. So what it does is that it gives you some steps that if you follow them in the right way, you're gonna help the student to gather all the knowledge you need and start putting it together so they can construct their own complicated knowledge with you just teaching the simple stuff. So, smart programs integrate different kinds of spirals along the way. Some spirals for vocabulary, some others for grammar. But what is important here is that once you move along the learning concepts, language is getting richer, more complex, and bigger in terms of vocabulary and structures. So, if we see the spiral, as you can see on the screen, the idea is that learning even complicated stuff should be like a game, because you give them challenging activities, but at the right level. Then you make them repeat them while adding new information and new skills to those activities that they have been succeeding in. And then, by gradually repeating and increasing this difficulty, they are gonna end up having learned as if they were playing, but they are gonna arrive to really complex structures and concepts. So, making it even easier to explain, we start by introducing a piece of language. Then what we do is that we add more language. After adding this other piece of language, we repeat and recapitulate, putting everything together. I always said that it is like as if you are making a salad, right? So maybe you chop tomatoes, you put them in a bowl. Then you take the lettuce, you add it. You don't take the tomatoes out to put the lettuce in the same bowl, right? You start adding it. You mix it, you add something else. So that's the way the spiral works. So then, when you have already mixed that, and it worked and was understood, then you add more. And then, what we do? We recap the recent and the earlier. And we keep mixing, right? And we repeat the process. So, I'm gonna give you a super easy example. So, let's say I need to get my students to learn 3 blue circles. How do you teach 3 blue circles to a 6-year-old kid? 3 blue circles. That may sound a bit complicated, but I can start. I'm gonna do it the fast way. We can think of each step, maybe one day, each step maybe a lesson or a unit, but let's say that we start by working with colors. So, today we are gonna learn about colors, and I show the colors, and I do all the activities that we already spoke about. And then, next day, shapes. But I do not start my class by teaching the shapes. I start my class by, do you remember what did we do last class? Colors. Do you remember the solar song? Maybe I start with the solar song, with the color song. That some of you may have heard when we finish the break. So maybe you start with the color song, then you start, okay. Do you remember what colors did we talk about last class? Green. Do you remember green? Yes. Can you show me something green?
Yes. Here it is.
Awesome. And so on. And so on. Then after I have already warmed up the knowledge that they got from last class, what am I gonna do? Shapes. So I introduce the circle. This is a circle. A circle. Do you know what it is?
Circle.
Perfect. Do you know this one? Well, I normally go. They told. I will go. Thank you. I will go in the right order. You know it, but that's it. Do you know this one? What is it?
Orange.
Yes. Its color, it's orange, but what's the shape? Yes, it is a rectangle. Did you see what I did? First, I didn't say, no, you are wrong. We are not talking about colors. No, you don't do that, ever. Because she's actually right. Maybe she got distracted when I explained that now we are moving to shapes. So she's right. So yes, it is orange. Now, what's the shape? I'm taking her back. Exactly. Exactly. So they will refer to what is known. So you give them, let's say, you reinforce what they know, and now you help them get to the point you want them to be in. And then it's also going to happen that they're going to answer to you in Spanish or their first language. And that's also okay, because it means they understood what you asked for. So never said, no, in English. Because they will refrain from participating again. Because they are going to be afraid that yes, that's how traumas are created here, your colleague says. But that's true sometimes. So what I suggest is that you take that piece of true information that they gave you, and now you shape it into what you want. So yes, it is a triangle. Repeat after me, triangle. Will you all repeat after hair? So? Excellent, thank you. So you see, we started from colors, and I can finish my class. Now, what shape it is? And what color is it? Yes, it is an orange rectangle. Now I start mixing it up. So, what is it? A circle, yes. And what color is the circle? Yes, it is a green circle. What is it? Green circle. You see, it's like two super simple things. But if you put them in the right order and you start mixing them up, not everything at the same time, but baby steps, then the next class we're gonna teach numbers. And then we are gonna start by one circle, two circles. And then we are gonna get to the knowledge we want them to have. And is it difficult to teach colors? No. Is it difficult to teach shapes? No. Numbers? No. Will it be difficult if I try to put it all together at the same time?
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. So spiral learning is that methodology that helps us get to really complicated stuff in the simplest possible way. So now we're going back to practice. But this time I'm going to go through all the groups, and I'm going to take actually 4. I'm going to take 4 of you to come at the end here and do the whole process to your students. So start practicing, because you are coming to the front. You can do it with whichever spiral you want. If you want to keep doing the colors, shapes, and so on, do so, but you can create your own spiral, okay? Or do we have to get democratic? No volunteers? Yeah, that would be. I'm gonna need to. I need another word for that. Yes. That was Spanglish. That was Spanglish. Okay. So, volunteers? Volunteers? No volunteers? You? Okay. Let's go. What are you going to show us?
We are going to learn colors, school objects, and numbers.
Perfect.
So let's start with the colors. Yes? Imagine a balloon. So the first balloon is color green. And all the class is laughing and running because they got a balloon. So they say, stop. Do you want a balloon? Yes. Well, slow down. And then you're going to have your balloon. So let's start. Let's start with colors. And after we learn the colors, we start with school. No, next class.
School objects. Do you have school objects around there to help us out?
Next class.
Here's a notebook around
Another
here.
class that we play and we learn the colors. We start with a song with colors, revise colors. Can you show me colors? Okay? And so then I have my magic school bag. So it was too heavy, my school bag. Thank you. Thank
Perfect.
you. That's nice. So I have a heavy school bag. So I have my school bag. What's inside my school bag? I start showing all the flashcards. All the objects and the names, and then we start with playing with the flashcards to start with vocabulary. And after we learned the school objects, we start with colors, numbers. So perhaps an idea is to play with dice, to play with orders. Yes, color, school object numbers, colors and school objects, and to start making a sentence. So that's it.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. You've got to start. So, what is important here is that they thought of what sentence do I need to get to? Maybe I need to get to, I have 5 red pencils, or I have 3 blue markers. But whenever you are going to create a spiral, whether if it is about grammar or vocabulary or the whole structure, you start by setting up your goal. What do you want to achieve? What's the piece of information or communication do you want to get to? And so you start splitting it in baby steps. That way, for you, it's going to be easier to create a spiral. Because the other way around, you don't know what else to put in the bowl, right? But if you start by knowing where do you wanna get to, then it's easier to look for the others. So let's do it that way. I want someone else to come to the front to tell us what was the most challenging about this methodology and what did you like about it. Volunteers? Okay, around here.
come here and tell us a little bit of your experience?
Yes, because the idea is that we learn from each other. So come here.
Okay. Well, the more we talk about the start of thinking in balloons, but with a birthday, so all day bring balloons too. So they start with this card, and then start to look up for colors and review some of the colors that are there. Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
And then
What was the most challenging thing for you?
it's a thing that I used to do. I start with simple things and then add on others, like you do with the shapes and the colors. So we start to think about the car and mixes of all this stuff.
And what would you suggest to those teachers that maybe they are starting? Because not all of us have the same experience in classrooms. So you already do this kind of spirals. So what will be your message to those teachers that are just starting?
I'm starting.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
I'm working with so younger, 2 and 3 years old. So all we do is bring them vocabulary in the easy way, so they can familiarize with the sounds, the shapes, and colors, and vocabulary.
It's okay.
And so we can make them play and learn at the same time.
Perfect. Thank you.
And that's key, because remember that kids learn by playing. And that's a way of also having them in the right emotional state.
I think the most important thing is to, when you're starting, to start to know your class, your students, and to know what they are able to do.
Yeah.
Because we teachers at the training course, we are not so well prepared as regards the ability of kids at kindergarten, for example. So you arrive at your workplace in kindergarten and you have no idea of the kind of things they are able to do. So you prepare an activity and then you realize that maybe at 3 years old they are not very good at drawing, for example, or coloring inside the lines. And maybe you didn't know that beforehand. So first you need to know your class, what they are able to do, and so that you can prepare activities according to those kids.
Perfect. That's so true, because it is important that whatever you plan for your students, it's according to age and skills.
The same. Maybe maybe the more or the more challenging activity or that we as educators have is that we, even though we are teachers and we learn how to teach from kindergarten to secondary school or whatever,
we think that they learn as us. And we think like adults, and we want to teach long phrases and maybe difficult things that they at their age can't. So I think that to simplify the things is a more, that is what I was trying to do this and to fulfill this activity. Baby steps, think of baby steps, because I try to, okay, this is no, color first, then the vocabulary, and then the numbers, and then the rest, and then the structure. We want to say, this is my mom, this is a cutie, and that is a lot for them, maybe. That's what I think.
Thank you, and that's also very true, because we need to remember that we didn't form full sentences from the very first time. We did baby steps, so we need to have baby steps for our own students. And for that, we start with things that can be answered simply, and also with simple questions, like, what is it? What color is it? How many of? Depending on what we are trying to achieve is what we are going to say, but try to keep it simple. Keep it super simple, because that way for them it's gonna be easier. You can start, like, for using the same example that we already gave, is, what is it? What color is it? How many blue circles are there? So that way you are gonna achieve complicated or complex knowledge, baby steps. One baby step at a time. Okay, now, before going to our long break, let's take a quick test of your knowledge. This is different than from the test that you are going to be taking to get your certificate and so on. But this is going to help you check if you need to ask some questions before leaving today. This is going to help you work on the spiral on yourself. And also, we are going to have another test like this one at the end of the second part of the journey. I really hope you stay for the afternoon journey, because we are going to be fully hands-on, even more than now. We are going to go through the different way of teaching every single skill. And you know that some of them may be obvious, some others we get exhausted from trying to do the same 3 activities for years. So today we are going to have different kind of activities from different kind of skills, considering different ages. So please come back after the break so we can enjoy learning like kids, because we also adults like to play. So for your quiz, the left side of the room, this side, please scan that QR. Not you girls, no, stop. You're gonna scan the other one. Left side of the room. I'm sorry, your left. I'm sorry, my left. Oh my God, yes. You are worse than elementary.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready, so I can put the right one on screen.
Is the code A1TIRB? Is it?
Yes, it's done. So when you go in, it's gonna show you the test, and then you have, for the right side of the room, you have this other code.
Do I need to create an account? Do I need to log?
No, you create an account. It's just your name. It's not gonna ask you. And
It's not gonna ask you anything complicated. In this case, you are not the teacher. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you. But just for the sake of the activity, you are not. But once you create your account, we are giving you for free this app. So you are gonna be able to create activities for your own students. Please. Okay. Did you pick right or left? In the QR. Left. Left. Okay. No worries. Did you all scan? Can I take it? Okay, now, you can introduce one of those codes. So you are going to become part of one of the classrooms, and there you're going to have your exam.
Can you say our figures? Yeah. Can you say large yours from there? A is yours? B is we start A and B. Yes. A, I, A1, T, I, R, B.
Okay? I need you all to be ready. Yes, I'm going to assign you, but I need you all to be Come on, I have a lot of teenagers here. Okay, so let's enter in competition mode. So now, it says, I'm doing it easier for you because I thought that some of you were not able to go to the classroom, so just play that, Tommy, that digital, and you enter that code, and you go straight to the exam. Well, to here. That I'm gonna launch the lesson, or the exam. Yes, you can play start. Está bien, está bien. Arriba, donde dice. Ajá. Yes, start. Luego te anotas, no es obligatorio porque este no es el examen. I find that some of you don't have sign out here, so it's okay. What we're gonna do is those that cannot do it right now, we'll do it later in the link, okay? So let's start now. Did you enter the code? Some of you at least? Okay, let's start. First question. Oh, yeah. 62% right. I guess somebody else around here is gonna be grounded. Okay, this one was better.
Excuse me, teacher. Could you please enlarge or slim? Okay.
Good, 86%. What does CFR stand for? That's an easy one.
Now I see. Sorry.
Could you please all read Charlie? Thank you. Remember that for the real one. It's not the same. It's related, but this is about meaning. What was it created for? Ooh, very, very, very. How many levels? How many levels? The official levels. You're still missing answers. Come on. Time is running. Okay. Please remember. The 7 was an extra, but not an official. Officials are just 6 levels. Topic-based approach. Let's see if we remember. Okay. 77 is student-centered. Remember that we focus on what the student needs, so what they need, so we can make decisions. Last 2 questions. Integrated skills approach. The natural skills. %. That was a good one. And the last one. Spiral learning. What was it created for? How does it help you? Okay, so now with this question we are finishing. I'm gonna leave it a few seconds so you can read it through carefully. But we are going to have our middle journey break. So we are gonna have 1 hour. Just 1 hour, please. Be on time because we want to take advantage of the hour. So 2 p.m. I'm gonna see you back here. You're free to go around, but please be on time. And remember that we are gonna learn a lot of activities during the afternoon, so I'm gonna be waiting for you here. Thank you very much for your time. That's really nice. And did you see that stage, right? So we are a really important stage. There are core concepts coming to
that moment. So it's when structures are getting fixed. So you need to ensure that they actually get to maintain the right structures and get rid of what is not working.
Okay, my name is Sandra. I'm from Formosa, but haven't really lived this.
Where is Formosa? Is
Formosa
it
is
far away?
province. It's another province.
Oh, yeah.
It's, I think that 100 kilometers away.
Oh, okay.
And I'm working in the same institute.
Okay.
Yeah, the same school. But I'm with the Colombia.
Which grades?
Third, fourth, and fifth.
More teens around here.
Hello, my name is Martina. I work at private school in the
Awesome. All the levels.
for the first and second grade.
How long have you been teaching English?
16 years.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So, around here.
I'm Paulina. I'm a teacher since December 2000 recently. And I'm currently the 3 main teachers, first, second, and third year. So there are 12 teachers.
Great.
Private public school. Private.
Private.
Actually, around the corner.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. That's nice.
Hi, I am Cecilia and I'm teaching at the primary school, 4th, 5th and 6th grade. I'm teaching since 2010.
Okay. You've got great experience around there.
I'm Andalena, I am from Kenya, it's in the city of Corrientes.
How far? How far is it?
6 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but I've been living here since 2013.
Okay.
And I'm working at primary grade, Colegio Sandra.
Those that are not yet teens but not babies either.
We are colleagues because we work at the same level. At the same level because I work with first and second graders, and I also work at kindergarten.
That's nice. Interesting, challenging, but interesting.
My name is Milagros. I am from Salar. It's another city.
Is it far away?
100 more or less.
Okay. Kilometers? Miles?
I am a student teaching English in second year.
You're in your second year. Okay.
I
Great.
am
Great.
classmate.
Ah, you're classmates. Nice. Thank you.
My name is Alejandra. I'm originally studying to be a Spanish teacher.
Okay, that's
my career,
interesting.
but I started working as a teacher